Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today as we're going to talk about how you can prepare your business to take safer payments in a new world. So, the nature and impact of coronavirus has meant that the operations side of your business is inevitably going to shift. And at Treatwell, not only do we want to kind of prepare you for this change as much as possible, but we're also here to provide you with the necessary tools to help you do so. So, today our focus centers around our point of sale system, or otherwise known as POS, which is a feature we offer if you're subscribed to our monthly premium plan. If you aren't already on this plan and if you're interested in changing, we'll be following up after this webinar with an opportunity for you to book in a consultation. So stay tuned. We really appreciate all of you submitting some of the questions for our Q&A. And if you haven't done so already, please feel free to submit one using the Slido link, which is provided for below in the description section for this video. We've already collated all of the most asked questions from you, and we'll be answering those today. But everything we haven't gotten to, we're going to try our hardest to answer in a follow-up with you. So just to introduce the team who'll be presenting today before we get started, my name's Marianne, and I'm an account manager here at Treatwell. And speaking after me will be my colleague Dennis, who's an account manager lead. And lastly, we have the lovely Katrina, who's also an account manager with us. So today's agenda is split into three main sections. First, I'll be running through with you how you can make the most out of Connect with our point of sale or POS software. Dennis will then be touching on our SumUp partnership and POS hardware and tying this into the growing importance of card readers and online payments. And then lastly, we have Katrina, who'll be leading our Q&A session with two of our fabulous partners, Ian and Sky. So moving on, here I'm going to run through what point of sale is and why you should be utilizing it now more than ever. But before I get started, I'd just like to touch on what our new world is shaping up to look like for you. So in this new version of normal that the world is transitioning into, the reality is that the operational side of your business is going to change and your customers will have different expectations of you post-lockdown. One of the main ways in which the world has changed is that things have begun to move online. So just like how your customers are going to increasingly pre-book appointments with you rather than do walk-ins, we also predict that after lockdown, they're also going to be more inclined to pay online, either by prepay or card. Treatwell and other relevant industry bodies have recommended the use of cashless payments for obvious hygiene and safety reasons, and it appears that the government is likely going to follow this guidance. The reality is that moving forward, contactless payments will increase, and having POS enabled allows you to accommodate for this change because it facilitates all of your online financial transactions in one digital place. The second big change you're going to see in the future is that both you and your customers are going to want to diminish the amount of time spent in the salon. Because you'll be able to have less customers in your premise at the one time, to make ends meet over the course of a day or a week, becoming incredibly time efficient is going to be your biggest asset. This calls for you to have a sleek, seamless, and efficient checkout process so that you reduce the possibility of wasting any time at the end of an appointment. Not only that, but your clients are also going to be a lot less willing to wait around in a public space while you do so. And thirdly, our new world will no longer oblige unnecessary personal contact between people. So limiting your contact during touch points between yourself and your patrons is really key. And with POS, there's minimal movement required when you finish up an appointment, as the quick and easy checkout process naturally reduces your personal contact. Also, by avoiding going back and forth between your till and your card reader, this is going to ensure that you're stringently following the relevant social distancing guidelines in place. So moving on, the POS system itself provides you as a business with a number of handy features that go way beyond just managing your daily cash and transactions. But the main feature POS offers is that it essentially operates as your online till or checkout system after completing your appointments. This till system is integrated seamlessly with your Connect calendar, which essentially combines your diary management, your online bookings, marketing, payment processing, and all your financial reporting just in one space. But I just want to note here that if you're looking to use Treatwell POS, you've got to make sure that you've familiarized yourself with Connect and have checked that all your business data and information has been entered in correctly. So POS as well operates as a comprehensive sell point for your business. So when you're checking out appointments for your services, you can also add on the sale of your products or enter in vouchers. And the software enables the handy display of units in your stock during the checkout process so that you can manage your inventory and track how many products are sold. Connect then stores the data later on so that if you wanted to compare actual and target stock, you have the means to do so. So once the appointment is checked out, POS then allows you to send receipts of the transaction via email to your customers. And being able to contact and communicate this information from one place really does make you look a lot more professional and sleek with your operations. But the last feature of the system, and not the least, is the real-time reporting offered with POS. So essentially, every time you complete a transaction which affects your cash flow, such as checkouts, refunds, cash deposits, and cash withdrawals, the action will then be recorded and the time and date will be saved and archived for your reference. You can monitor all of this information on the go and then export the full records of your payment processing for any accounting or tax purposes you might need. So moving on, there are a whole range of benefits of using POS that can help you run your business. So first and foremost, it allows you to manage and access all of your finances with ease. And following the kind of unpredictable disaster that has been coronavirus, the need for clear and detailed financial records is now, I think, more clear than ever. Having all of your transactions and your payment history stored in the one place not only really helps organize your business and money flow better, but it also takes a huge administrative weight off your shoulders. But POS also allows you to really focus on what's important. By making the running of your salon more efficient, for example, to the tedious end of the day to the dreaded tax return, you can kind of instead prioritize giving your customers your undivided attention. So having a smooth and automated payment system plays a really crucial role in allowing you to do this. Very importantly too, it also allows for better time management. So the simple and easy to use system allows you to be more flexible with your time, which will essentially cut down hours spent calculating your end of day, week and month reporting. But you're probably wondering what POS actually looks like. So here we're going to show a little demonstration video to show you how straightforward the checkout process on Connect really is.
Go to the Treatwell Connect app, find the appointment you'd like to check out, select Checkout. Here you have the options to sell a product, to sell a voucher, or to apply a discount at the time of checkout. Then select Go to Payment. You're then given the option to charge your client in cash, card, or by redeeming vouchers. To charge your customers via card, simply select the card option and charge card. This payment can then be taken via your card provider or linked to SumUp via Bluetooth if you're using the SumUp card reader. You can also charge your customers in both cash and card. Once again, select Checkout, select Go to Payment, then input the amount of cash the customer has given you. Then select Card. The remaining balance, which is due to be charged to the card, will be visible here. Select Charge Card. If your customer is paying in cash, once again, go into the appointment, select Checkout, select Go to Payment, select Cash. You're then given possible payment options your customer may pay with. You can also type your own amount that the customer has handed to you. This will then advise you of the change you need to give. Then select Finalize. You're then given the option to open the cash drawer, print the receipt, or send the receipt via email. If you need to refund an appointment, select the appointment you have checked out. Select Receipt. Then click Refund. Here you can add refund notes and open the cash drawer if needed. Once you've checked out appointments, they will show as blue in your calendar and complete like so when you go into each appointment.
Great. So all the information that was provided for in the checkout process you just saw is then essentially collated so that you can create an end of day report, which is really easily accessed through Connect in the report section. So from there, you can print and archive all this valuable data to calculate and gather sales insights into numerous things such as your gross total or net revenue, your VAT rates, your total payments, including which payment methods have been used. So, for example, you can look at whether the customer paid by cash or by card and by Visa or by American Express. You can also track the salon vouchers which you've issued and refunded, and you can access a whole list of your refunded items and prices. The end of day report also records your cash balance, cash withdrawals, and your cash refunds. And all of this information can be again broken down into separate categories, either by service, product, or voucher, which is super useful. So moving on top of that, you can also create reports to span between specific timeframes, such as monthly or yearly reports. These reports are for you to use in any way you best see fit, but having this really easily digestible and digital information is going to help you organize your money flow a lot better. You can also either export these reports, or we can give your accountant access to them so they can log into Connect at the end of financial year and log a tax return. So it really just makes everything as pain-free as it possibly can be. I also just want to reiterate here that we do protect all of the data stored in these reports, as we recognize that it's extremely sensitive material. So everything recorded is GDPR and tax law compliant, meaning that Treatwell does not keep or use any of the information that the POS software creates for you. So now that I've run through what POS is, I'm going to hand over to my colleague Dennis, who's going to talk a little bit about our SumUp partnership and the POS hardware. Thank you so much, Dennis.
Thanks, Marianne, and thanks everyone for joining. So we're going to go through the importance of card readers and online payments, as Marianne sort of touched on there. We are moving into what everyone's like to call a new normal at the moment. So if what we're going to do is sort of take you through the card payments and why online payment is also important. So why are card readers and online payments important? Now, historically, will come from a lot of cash in hand and giving tips. But as sort of the industry's moved on, there's been a lot more card payments happening, a lot of prepay happening, and it's really proving to be a big hit with customers. So one thing we've noticed is that contactless payments are now being recommended to minimize contact with clients, from a hygiene element as well. We've done some recent surveys with our partners as well, and it's really interesting to see how much people are now saying, do you know what, can you either prepay or come and, we'll provide the contactless method payment for you. Online payments also give you back the time of what you want, to do what you love to do. So whether you be it you're cutting hair or you're doing nails, you want to spend that quality time, with your client, understanding your client rather than fiddling around at the end. You want to get them rebooked, get them out of the shop, and then see to your next customer. So, you can start to spend that time with that customer as well. Online prepayments also minimize the chance of no-show appointments. So 25% of all pay-at-venue orders are actually cancelled by customers compared to only 5 who prepay. So there's a big sort of difference there that when a customer has booked and they have paid, the likelihood is they're going to show up, and it allows you to guarantee that appointment. Giving your customers the freedom to pay in variety of ways, which means you'll never miss an appointment as well. So giving that customer that flexibility guarantees you to get that slot booked and that bum on the seat, which is what we need. Post-corona, there's going to be a massive demand. You don't want anyone messing you around. So giving the customers that freedom to pay how you wish or how they wish will allow that to always guarantee your appointment. Now, there's lots of different card readers out there. For those people with business banking, you'll be more familiar to the device on the left. For people who don't really have that merchant services through their bank, you'll be more familiar with the one on the right if you have a card reader or take card payments. If not, then we're going to cover all that basis for you. So on the right, we'll start off with the more traditional the wire terminal. So it's one that we're more commonly used to seeing when you go to your supermarket or your corner shop. You'll start to see these. You see these ones there. They've only recently introduced the the contactless method into that now. But these terminals are usually wired to the phone line. So let's say you are still getting phone calls from customers who want to change it, and they're not using the Treatwell app, and you're still trying to educate your customers to do that, and you still got a couple of rogue ones that want to call. You won't be able to actually take that phone call if you're trying to take a payment. So you need to have an active line or two lines to be able to do both at the same time. Now, banks will commonly offer you what they call merchant services. Now, this is usually linked to your business account, and they will charge you for the terminal plus a monthly fee just to enable to have that set up. And there's also handling costs, which they're varied based on the sort of account you have, the amount of revenue you're turning over, and there's also admin fees to that as well. So there's never really a way you can predict how much this is going to cost your business on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis. It's sort of like a bill at the end of the year or the end of the month, which is settled with the bank, or they deduct it from what you have in your bank. Moving on to the sort of newer, more ever popular becoming mobile card reader. These are operated via Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So they'll be able to connect to, be it POS system or, a system which allows it to all be integrated in. You can still receive the payment as quick as if it was going through your bank. It will still be paid into a bank account of your choice, and will commonly take about 1 to 3 working days. And you can also take it home with you. So if you also sort of do, your work outside of your salon or your venue, you can also, it's actually mobile. So you can take it out with you as long as it's charged, contactless, everything works. The integration will still work. So it doesn't have to have that wired as you would with the bank. And then you've also got the ever famous apps now. So if you ever to make any changes or you need to make any refunds, there's always an app there that you can help and do that for you. So taking payments through SumUp. So SumUp is one that we have partnered up with. So it fully integrates with Connect and makes checking out that much easier without having to go to a card machine, type in £50, enter, go through that jazz. It all links all together in one seamless method. As you saw in the video, you choose the card option and it links it to the SumUp machine and allows the customer to pay. If it's contactless, it'll do. But things put the card in, if it's over a certain amount, it will still accommodate that as well. It gives you up-to-date information on how much you've taken by card on a daily basis without having to run end-of-day reports. So on Connect, there's a section there which tells you how much card payments you've taken in that day, rather than having to go through the old-fashioned Z report and close a day to see how much you've taken by card and fiddle round to see what transaction needs to be, was wrong putted. Where it's all connected to Connect, there's no worry about, the stylist there put 5 instead of 50, let's go back, let's check it. You can check all that really easily through Connect as well. It's compatible with iOS and Android tablets. The setup is really easy. It's two clicks, an email address, a password, and you're in. And then it's a quick turnaround on payments as well, as previously mentioned. We are also introducing more exciting news and stuff regardless to payments with Stripe. So we are looking at further integrations of how we can really give you more control when it comes to payments from customers as well. So definitely keep your eyes peeled out for that one. That one's really close to coming to. So why SumUp? So the 3 areas we looked at, and when we were making the decision for a partnership, was the 3 areas you see in front of you here. So we have the speed. So it's really quick to use. The checkout process is seconds, and it eliminates any errors that could possibly happen. It's fully integrated with Connect. So it works seamlessly. Like I said, to set it up is really easy. It's a few clicks and it's seamlessly working with Connect. And then it's competitive rates. So there's a market competitive rate of about 1.69%. Now we are aware there are other companies out there, offering 1.39, 1.29, and then there's a plus 20 to 50p. So what we did, we actually looked at the whole market and understood how that would work out, and using SumUp was actually still far cheaper than, opting to use someone that was 1.29 plus 20p. So that's why we chose SumUp. Now, SumUp commercials. So there's no monthly fee or rental fee. So like there would with a bank or other card merchants, you just pay for the device. There's no line rental charge. There's no hidden admin charges. As previously stated, competitive rate of 1.69, and it's only £39 for the reader. So when you look at other readers, they can stretch from, £50 to £200, depending on what you're looking for. So it's really good that there's a really competitive price on there as well. And plus, you've got the Treatwell account management support, where if anything goes wrong, we can help you troubleshoot and get that fixed. POS hardware. So I'm going to touch on what we have as a POS hardware. So earlier on, Mary-Ann would have referred to the till. So I was going to have a quick touch on that. So our POS hardware is one that we introduced a year or so ago, 2 years ago, and it's become really popular, and fully conscious that everyone is looking to, still maintain that contactless element moving forward after the coronavirus has passed, or when we're allowed to move back in. But there's still people out there who will still want the hardware. So I do a quick little snapshot on that. So it's really easy to set up as well. A lot of partners, it's literally a plug and play. You connect it via Bluetooth as well. It's a secure way to manage your cash transactions. So the till doesn't physically open. You have to actually do it through Connect. So, you're in full control, and you have full visibility of what goes in and out of that, of the till on a day-to-day basis. You've got printable receipts. So there are people out there who want receipts, people who don't want receipts. You're in full control of that as well. So if the customer wants a receipt, you can issue them one there and then. If they don't want one, it's still logged on in the system. You could print end-of-day reports as well. So where usually other systems will give you like a monthly snapshot that you can print off or download on Excel, we can do it daily as well. And it's also cost-effective. When you look at the price of a fully integrated till, they do go north of sort of £500 to £600. So this one, we've got it at a very cost-effective price for you as well. And if you are interested in getting more information on any of the till or the SumUp, there will be a form going out after the webinar today, just to sort of get you to sign up, and one of the team will be with you to talk through any questions you may have. I'll pass over now to the lovely Katrina. Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you, Dennis. Hello, everyone. My name is Katrina, and I'm one of the account managers here at Treatwell. Today, I had the pleasure of picking the brains of a couple of our wonderful salon partners, Ian, who's the owner of CV Hair, and Sky, who runs Beauty Bar. Ian and Sky, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We've received some brilliant questions, and we've collated the most popular ones. So let's get started. So first of all, how prepared do you guys feel for reopening? Non-essential shops have opened their doors yesterday. The wheels seem to be in motion for want of a better term, the beginning of the new normal. Ian, are you feeling ready to return to the salon floor?
Yes, we've done our risk assessment. We're almost complete on that. We're just about to share that with our team and invite them for training. So we're as ready as we can be.
And how are you feeling, Sky?
Yeah, I'm going to repeat what Ian just said. I'm as ready as can be. Physically, I'm stocked on some stuff like gloves, extra disinfectant, hand gels, face masks just in case. Not sure. Obviously, nobody knows what's going to be required. So I have some stuff in that aspect, and some new procedures, some new steps in the routine. Might be adjusted once we reopen, but you can be as ready as you can be.
Yeah, and this actually really nicely brings us on to another questions that our viewers are keen to hear. So what changes have you made to the salon? What have you started thinking about implementing outside of that, well, including that PPE that we may or may not need?
I'm leaving a gap between the clients to do a disinfectant of any surface that could potentially be touched by a client while they're in a salon, and make sure that they don't meet each other and there's no one waiting for appointments sitting in the waiting area. So these things, so it's going to affect the timings of the appointments. Things like refreshments, probably going to be out of the question for now. We'll see what the guidelines are.
Yeah, how about you, Ian?
Pretty much the same as Sky. Some of the measures we haven't yet shared with our staff. So, and they will involve, training and the physical distancing. But the same with the cleaning in between clients. We've taken advantage of the clean-up time on the menu. So we've gone through the menu and we've put in a clean-up time after every appointment. We've removed processing times. So lots of changes.
Yeah, I think hygiene is just the hottest topic in this community right now. Another question we got asked a lot was, are you going to still be accepting cash payments? And if you will be, how are you going to be handling them?
If someone really wants to pay with cash, I'm not going to deny them that, but I will be handling money with gloves for both my sake, my staff's sake, and the client's sake. I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure that most of my clients will pre-book and will pay in advance. The eliminating of of contact with them is not only we care about that, they will be thinking about it as well. How can I eliminate the contact? How can I have the treatment and be out that door as soon as possible? So I think prepayment is going to be one thing I will encourage, but I think my client's going to be on top of that.
Yeah, and what are your thoughts, Ian?
I think that prepayment will become the major thing, and obviously that is already handled by the Treatwell software. So that's good from our point of view, is that we haven't got to do a separate facility on our website. It's already handled by you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think contactless payment will become more popular. I really don't know with cash. I think it depends on your clientele. And as Sky said, you're going to need to wear gloves. You're going to need to wash your hands afterwards. At the end of the day, if you cash up and there's cash in the till, again, it's washing your hands. It's disinfecting, hygiene. I really don't know what's going to happen with the cash, but I think that it will move far more towards card payments.
Yeah. And again, this actually brings us very nicely to our next question. How will you be encouraging your customers to prepay if you're going to be encouraging them to prepay?
We are very much keyed in with Treatwell. So a lot of our customers now, because since August last year, we changed to the software. So a lot of our customers know that the links from Facebook, from the website, it's all integrated now. So they're given the option to prepay. I've noticed some of the appointments that are coming in, well, in fact, all of the appointments now, because it's prepay only, but a lot of people are pre-booking and prepaying. And where we've withdrawn all the discounts, they're paying full price as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to particularly ask them to prepay. I'm not going to push for that because I really don't mind taking the payments at the till because it's so quick. We're talking, 30 seconds to 45 seconds extra contact on top of what you already had, probably behind closed door with the client. So it doesn't change things dramatically if they're paying with card. But I've been through phases where I just changed the settings and every single treatment had to be prepaid, and never, not even once, did I receive any backlash from the clients. No one was ever surprised that they had to prepay, and we're talking before Corona. So I don't think there would be any surprise on the clients and if they had to prepay.
Yeah, okay. And we have a question around the point of sale system, which I know that you both use. Obviously, with many salons now potentially having to run at reduced capacity and, as you said, increasing the gaps between appointments, with clean-up and things like that. No one wants to be doing anything that takes up even more of their time. It's more precious than ever. So how do you guys find the POS system? How do you use it? Do you find that it takes up any extra time?
To be honest with you, I've been using it for such a long time. I usually, everything you roll out, I try it and I stick with it because there's never any reason to change back. So I've been using it for ages and it comes as a second nature. I could check out a client, doesn't matter if they're paying cash or card, on autopilot. I don't even have to think about it, how quick that is. So talking about time, this saves you time. It doesn't take any extra time comparing to any other card reader or any other system or software. This is as streamlined and as quick as it can possibly be, I think. So I'm not even thinking about that. It comes as a second nature for me.
Oh, that's great to hear. How are you positioned on it in?
It is as quick as every other software system out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's quicker if they've prepaid. And I think we identified that there might be a slight issue around the telephone now, because if you think about it, every time somebody picks up the phone, and a lot of salons don't have a receptionist, so every time you pick up the phone and make a phone call, you've then got a clean-up time of sterilising the phone afterwards. So we did consider making far more use of the answering machine and telling them on a message on the answering machine, which is, we've got a voice over internet system, which is we have a professionally recorded message, and that would direct them how to book online, or we would get back to them within a period of time, and they'll explain why we're not picking up the phone. So that's what we're doing. But when it comes to checking out appointments, it's very quick. It does depend on the speed of the operator with technology. Some people find it very easy. We have a more established salon, and we have a range of people in that salon. Some are quicker than others, but we're all pretty quick now because we've been working with it for nearly a year, and it's fine.
Yeah, and it sounds like you have a good system set up there with the voicemail. So, even the people that do wish to reach you on the phone, they know that you can sort of be bookable 24/7. So it's a sort of infinite loop, really, where you're never losing any bookings. That sounds really good.
Well, there's that, and it when you work through the process of the risk assessment, it was one of the things that the obvious things are cleaning up the styling station after you've done a client, sterilising everything, disposable this, disposable that, anything you've used has to be washed. And then all of a sudden, as I was working through it, I thought, oh, the telephone.
Didn't cross my mind. I think so often once we are back to our salons, there'll be these little things that we come across when we're actually back in and going through the motions. So I think that first week back will definitely be a big learning curve and identifying things like, oh God, I've actually got to disinfect the phone. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as when you fit out your salon, and you fit it out thinking you know what you want, and almost in every situation after 6 months, you turn around and you think to yourself, I wish I hadn't put that there. I wish I'd done this instead. And that's your learning curve, and this will be the same.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got a journey ahead of us.
I just wanted to say that we also work with our receptionist, and the phone message for years has been saying that if you want to book an appointment, go online, you can book yourself in, you can see the menu, you can see the prices and availability, and if that doesn't work, then drop us a line via the email. And that eliminated phone time to practically zero. We now pick up the phone only if everybody literally has nothing to do and the phone is ringing, then we would pick up the phone. Otherwise, people book online.
Yeah, so it's actually a big time saver rather than something that takes up extra time.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah, wow. And we got one final question. I know that we briefly touched on those reports. What do you look for there? What do you look in the point of sale reports? What are your KPIs that you're keeping an eye out for?
Gillian, go ahead, because you've been happy with that.
Okay, so I look for the amount of clients they've done, their actual return rate of business, so how many clients have dropped out of the sales funnel. So if somebody's visited, there is a facility to put a filter on it to see how many visits they've made in a period of time. So you can get an indication that if somebody's come once, say in January, they came again in March, and it's now September and you haven't seen them since, you've got the facility through Treatwell, if they've opted in through GDPR, to send an email and deal with your client attrition. So that's good. You would also, from a stylist point of view, you'd look at the average per head. And what that tells me is, are they effectively communicating with the client and upselling on appointments, or are they just order takers? In other words, they just do what's booked in the book, and there's no effort to either rebook the customer or suggest something different, like maybe a conditioning treatment or a colour or whatever. So I look at that.
Yeah.
And I'm also looking at the average time between visits. And of course, as far as the Treatwell percentage is concerned, when I get the invoice, I'm looking for 50% regulars and 50% new clients, because that way it brings the total percentage down. Because I really don't mind paying the higher percentage on the first appointment, because I look at that as an acquisition cost for the customer. So, and the difference is that I'm absolutely sure that I'm getting a customer. Whereas if I use some of the other advertising channels, I pay my money, and then I've got to do a load of research to find out where that customer came from. So with Treatwell, depending on what plan you're on, I'm on 35%. I pay 35% on that first appointment, and then it's up to me to get them back so that I'm paying a 2% on the next appointment. And if you get 50% of each, it's very affordable.
Yeah, and then you're able to, I suppose, work out the lifetime value of that customer by looking at those reports.
Yes, exactly. You look at how much the initial acquisition cost was, then how much that client spent over a 2-3 year period, and it gives you an idea of how much you're paying and then how much that customer is worth to you. I do think if the customers, if you've got a salon where you're doing mainly new customers and there's not much of a return rate, then you probably might want to be on one of the slightly different plans. But certainly for us, it's a no-brainer, because we have quite a high regular percentage of clients. And you find that your regular percentage increases because the other really superb thing is that you've got reviews. So you don't have to wait for somebody to give you a Google review. They give you a review on Treatwell. And because the way you guys have set up your SEO, that's always going to come up first when you're looking for hairdressing reviews. And I've just found that you get to a certain amount of reviews, and then your business starts increasing exponentially.
True. Can I say something about reports? See, Ian is a wizard, and I'm not. I'm not a numbers person at all. So when it comes to reports, all I look at is what I see at the end of the day in numbers, and then at the end of the month. It is what it is, as long as the numbers match what should be and what it is in a till. I'm happy with that. Obviously, salaries for people, reports help a lot, but mostly it's for my accountant. My accountant probably uses a lot more options than I do. So when it comes to report, my accountant has a login access, and I don't have to do anything in that. In the past, it's, you have to print things out, or you have to email them things, or export data and then email things. And I don't do that anymore. And my accountant doesn't ask me to do that anymore. They have their own login, and they can get whatever data and whatever numbers they want. And they're happy with that. And I'm happy with that.
Such brilliant feedback about this. I know that people that are just set up their accountants with a login on Connect. They don't need to see anything else but the reports, and it's all they need to worry about. Their accountant just goes in there, logs in, gets what they need to get, and if you're not a numbers person, you don't even have to worry about it. So I would definitely encourage everyone to do that. If you're not a numbers wizard like here.
Yeah, that has my name on it.
Well, thank you so much, guys. That's really interesting. I think those are all the questions that we've got time for today. But some really interesting insight there, and it's so exciting to hear of all the things we're doing to prepare for reopening as well. I know there's still a fair bit of uncertainty around what return to your salons would look like, but I think the biggest thing we can do right now is to prepare as best as we can. And as we discussed today, cash payments may not necessarily become a thing of the past, but there will be many, many clients that will no longer feel comfortable handling cash. And that's just something we had to prepare for in the same way as we may be preparing to use PPE. So as always, please do reach out to us if you have any questions or concerns. We are always at the other end of the phone. And right now we're just super excited to support you with getting you back to business and up and running, whatever that may look like for you. So thank you for joining us today. We hope it's been helpful, and we look forward to helping you out with any follow-up questions you may have. Just give us a ring or drop us a line. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.